Do you know Vegas backwards is Sagev? Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show live with Bailey and Rudo coming to you as the Avs are taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Hope everybody had a great holiday break for hockey, whether it was Christmas or otherwise. I had a busy break, but it was fun.
Yeah. I think I'm taking a very Gabe Landeskog approach to this. I missed everybody. I missed watching these guys. It's nice to be back.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
Been a fun year so far. Hopefully that continues. Tonight, it is Vegas. The Avs, same day travel. Late, yeah, I guess it's 7 o'clock local. Not that late local. But for us, a late start. Mm-hmm. Vegas is without Jack Eichel, if that makes you feel better about things. But is the expectation a tough one tonight for the Avs, given the weirdness of the 3 days off and the same day travel?
The same day travel, I think, gets me a little bit more than the 3 days off. This isn't a team that's had much rest.
That's
recently.
True.
So any that they can get, you get that time spent with your family. It's always going to be nice. But having to start your morning as early as the Avs did, which is not a thing they are alone in, I will say.
I traveled today too.
Yeah.
I don't have to go play a hockey game, but
yeah, that's the difference.
Also, the rest of the NHL.
Right. Unless you want to find they had to deal with that today as well. But that's I don't know. I think the expectation here is still you get that rest. Yes, you had an early start to your morning, but otherwise, you've still got your routines. You can still take care of everything you need to take care of. This game should be, a fun little welcome back as we prep for the new year.
Bednar going with Scott Wedgwood in this one. At this point, I don't think we are too concerned either way with what Bednar does. The Avs goaltending has been real good on both ends of this tandem. Mm-hmm. Wedgwood did pitch a shutout technically in his last one, but we did see Bednar go swap his goalies despite shutouts earlier in the season. Is there anything to read into here, or are we just looking for something in the Avsosphere?
That's, Bednar's always going to be the guy. Yes, I love that he's been working the rested goaltender route recently.
Yep.
But Bednar at his core is a guy who's going to play the goaltender who gives them the best chance to win. And after what he did against Utah, I mean, that's about as good of a chance to win as you're going to get.
Hard to argue with that performance for sure.
Yeah,
so
no. It really seems to be like a half a dozen of one, six of the other type situation. There's nobody between these two guys, put either of them in net, and there's no doubt that they're going to put on their best performance for you tonight. So.
Is the implication of that phrase that it's a baker's dozen, so it's 7 and not 6?
Maybe. Is that there's a reason I went into covering hockey and not working in a bakery, so maybe, I don't know. Not that I'm the wrong person to ask that question.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Me either. Yeah. I love it.
Look, Colorado continues to be the team that's best in pretty much every meaningful statistic in the NHL. But Vegas, one of the best teams in the NHL as far as, standing point totals and things like that. The best team in the NHL, not in the Central Division. Is Carolina ahead now? I forget. Anyway, one of the best teams in the NHL, not in the Central Division. Is there a world where this is a preview for a conference finals or something like that?
I think this would be a really fun conference final. It's a rematch from a couple years ago. Yeah. I think both Avs fans and Vegas fans alike, there's a little bit of a rivalry going on there, but I feel like Vegas has something going with everybody.
Nobody likes Vegas.
Nobody likes Vegas. And I mean, it's similar to Seattle too. Like, I feel like very few teams, I don't know. But given that, like, it's a really energetic matchup, not only for fans too, but you look at, I mean, they're number one in points in the division, in their
they're top
specific
of the
division
now, the
for
Pacific
a reason.
Is
so
kind of bad, to be fair.
yeah.
But.
So I mean, but still, like, I mean, in a league where you're scrounging, a lot of the other teams in other divisions are scrounging for as many points as possible, and they're coming out on top.
Yep.
So there's nothing to slouch about that as well.
You see the Avs with a ton of ones still on their stat card. Vegas was up a little bit before. They don't play the most exciting brand of hockey. They are very good defensively. They struggle to score. Particularly, they struggle at the finishing aspect of scoring, and that's not going to get any better with Eichel still out of the lineup for them. But they're pretty darn good defensively, and they are elite on the power play.
Yeah,
so
that's the one number that I was going to bring up that scares me just a little bit, and I'd say that is to be taken with a grain of salt, right? Because the Avs PK is obviously also elite in its own right too. So ideally, when looking at these two matchups, you want your PK to perform the way it has all season. Like no worries. Actually, no, I take that back. A couple worries there, but like as long as you're solid defensively, the way that you have been all season, like take care of business there. That penalty kill, though, on the other side of the ice, too. Like, if the Avs have maybe started to figure things out a little bit,
please don't be wishful thinking.
I know, right? But, like, that's obviously you want to look at a 17th rated penalty kill and be like, yeah, this is another one where the Avs can hopefully maybe continue to figure this out.
Prove it a little bit. If you score tonight, maybe you feel a little better about it.
Maybe this is where the consistency starts to kick in just a little bit.
Yeah, that would be very nice, if not potentially very important in this game. But I don't know that I expect any success on the special teams, especially given the day, and this is going to be a conversation about this game of like, if the Avs come out and stink, I think it's a pretty easy one to throw away. But you would like to see the Avs play well. Win or lose, we're usually more worried about the process here than the actual result on the scoreboard, although the Avs have made the scoreboards very easy this year.
And I guess that was the question that I was going to ask too, is looking at this one that maybe is a little easier to throw away. Does that make special teams important, or given how talented these teams are both offensively and defensively, is this 5-on-5 the big emphasis? I
mean, I think I would care more about the 5-on-5. If the Avs get 8 power players or something, of course they're going to need special teams to be successful. But in general, I think when you're coming off these breaks, when you're a team that hasn't had a ton of rest and you get 3 days off, I think it's more important to be who you are and continue being the best 5-on-5 team in the NHL by a wide margin. If they continue to do that, 1, I think they'll probably win this game. And 2, if they don't, okay, fine. Like,
focus on the strengths.
Yeah. You just don't want to see. I mean, I don't think I would be concerned if the Avs are bad, but you don't want to see that fall off the tabletop. Given, the Avs have won 6 in a row here. I know they haven't played in 3 days, 4 days, but
right.
You want to see that continue for Colorado as long as you can. This is we talk so much about the Avs potentially putting themselves into a spot for success post Olympics. And nights like tonight are where you got to find 2 points if you really want to stretch that gap and feel good about yourself. Dallas is playing against the Rockford Ice Hogs tonight, so they're going to win. Like, that's 2 points almost certain to go Dallas's way. I don't know. It was 1-1 last I checked, but the Avs have games in hand. They have a lead on Dallas. It's not like I'm worried about them getting chased down, but again, you want to give yourself as much comfortability as possible late in the season, and beating Vegas on December 27th is how you do that. Yeah,
I would almost agree. I think, though, when you look at having 3 more games left in the year, too, like if this
finish it out, yeah.
I mean, you finish it out strong, but with the lead that they have, yes, you want to build that gap.
Yep.
but I don't know as though I'm in a mindset where like you have to win every single game. Like
unrealistic.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely unrealistic. And if these are the couple that maybe they drop because it is the end of the year, there's a lot of kind of break happening and holiday, aftermath and holiday hangover stuff happening. If these are the couple that they maybe kind of not throw away, but you start to kind of see them fall just a little bit, as long as they can pick it up in the new year, I'm not necessarily too worried about
Tiff
it.
has the current 10 segment. And of course, we talked about it all season when the Avs lose, whether it's in regulation or overtime. It's much more about the response to that game than it is the loss itself. Any one loss this season has not been a particularly big deal for the Avalanche.
No.
In part because they usually win after the fact. They had that 4-game losing streak where 3 of them were in overtime, so even that you didn't feel horrible about.
You're getting something out of it at least.
And that was their only losing streak of the season. Like, they consistently string together wins. It's not just a team that's OT lossing their way to only having 2 regulation losses. They're winning a lot.
Yeah, I was looking at these streaks heading into tonight, and there's not much that Vegas is writing on either.
Nope.
For tonight. So, I don't know. You're on a 2-game losing streak on the road. That doesn't really matter here, but you won your last one at home. So
not a ton to really tap into there. Yeah.
The thing that I think I worry about a little bit too is the Avs maybe starting this one out right as well. Cause you look at a game against Utah, the last one, obviously, you win the 1-0.
But it was not a particularly good game for the Avs. Yeah.
Not at all. And your only goal scorer is Samuel Girard
with no assists. Yeah.
So, I mean, in looking at this, like, obviously, like the Avs are close to undefeated when leading after the first period, 16-0-2. How important is it to get that start early?
We so often go on these pre-games and we talk about, the Avs depth, get it going. It's got to be, the depth that could be the difference maker in this game. Yeah. You're rested. You just had nothing from your stars in the last game.
Yeah.
It's time for Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, and Marty Necas to go bop this team. Especially because there's no Eichel. And, Mark Stone's awesome. He's great defensively and all of that. But the Avs top guys should have the advantage. They should be able to pop off.
I was going to say no Eichel, Mark Stone's good. And then the next guy you have to worry about is Mitch Marner.
Yeah. Mitch Marner's really good. Like, don't get me wrong. But if Mitch Marner is going to go up against a line of potentially Nichushkin, Nelson, and Landeskog, they're going to run that dude over. Yeah.
There's no surviving that at all.
It's an interesting topic because I'm still not used to the Avs having a line where it's just like, they're the bigger line. Like, the Avs have long leaned more into the skill of their top 6. Not that those guys aren't very skilled, but they haven't had
a double-edged sword.
Yeah, right. They haven't had the physical aspect of what if we just bully other teams into submission with this line. A lot of the reason for that is because Gabe Landeskog was out for so long. But especially from Landy, we've seen once I get the puck, they're not allowed to have it style of hockey. And it's another dimension to the Avs, especially their top 6, that it just makes them even more difficult for a team like Vegas to defend.
That second line is like, yes, MacKinnon, Necas, and MacKinnon are a scary trio to play against.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at this team and that Nelson line is the line you're sending out against us, like that scares me a little bit more, because not only do you have the scoring prowess from a guy like Brock Nelson, who's been on fire recently, but that's a really tough team to go and break defensively.
I mean, there's an article, I forget who wrote it, but it was on Twitter somewhere, where like Nelson's going to get some Selke votes this year because of how effective they've been defensively as a shutdown line on that Avs second line. And you love that, especially against a team that has like a Mitch Marner, and you're saying, okay, we don't care. Like, we're going to stop that guy. It's really hard to look for matchups against the Colorado Avalanche this year, in part because of that second line, and in part because of their fourth line, or what has become their fourth line of Kelly, Drury, and who am I forgetting? Kiviranta. Thank you. Will be LOC. But they essentially have two shutdown lines that they're pretty comfortable with. And like, of course, you don't want your fourth line going up against teams' top lines long term. But when you're on the road, when you might catch a shift like that, you're fine with it.
Yeah. Especially when you look at that like from an outward lens too and saying like, this is not the final iteration of what our fourth line is going to be. Like, this is not the final draft. That line getting an LOC back just makes that much more scary. And when you look at it from a lens of being a double-edged sword, you've got a Parker Kelly who can go and pop off sometimes, but who also, it's a very defensively minded line. When you've got a guy like Parker Kelly who can block shots, you've got a Jack Drury who is insane on the penalty kill, but even 5-on-5 is great at defending the puck. And then LOC who's going to go and like, that's your energy.
Yeah. I know I just said Brock Nelson's going to get Selke votes, and Jack Drury won't, but the only reason is because Jack Drury doesn't score enough and he doesn't play enough. Like, if we're talking strictly who's better defensively, it's probably Jack Drury. So the Avs are not an easy team to score on, and that reflects, they've given up the least goals in the NHL along with scoring the most. So the Avs are just really good on both ends of the ice. I know I just said, hey, top guys go out and bop this team. But do we want to see? I mean, let's just be honest. Ross Colton's the one who's got to get on the scoreboard eventually here, right?
He's my big guy that I'm kind of looking to get a little bit more out of. Yeah. But in a game like this, like, I'm not expecting the bottom six to be the go-getters here first.
Yeah,
like
for
that,
sure.
In a game like this where you're looking at a very good defensive team like Vegas is, you need a Nathan MacKinnon. You need a Brock Nelson to go and set the tone
break
there.
them.
Yeah, go break them so your depth can go and do what they do, which is also, score from time to time.
Occasionally. You of course would take it from anywhere, but yeah, I don't know that this is the game that I'm really banking on a pop off from your bottom six.
No.
And fair enough. Again, Vegas is a good team, especially defensively. So don't expect this. I don't expect this to really run the score up or anything like this. This one might be one that they have to grind out a little bit. Toyota chat asking about Logan O'Connor. Yeah, I mean, at one point he was expected to be back in November.
Yeah, mid-November was the hope from Bednar at Media Day.
Yeah, and now who knows? He's in the mystery box now.
It's about as clear as mud.
Yeah.
Typical
Avalanche injury.
Yeah, with typical Bednar clarity.
True. That's
better.
True.
So yeah, he's been very, very unclear on what is expected for LOC. We've been joking that he's enjoying paternity leave.
Yeah.
And that's.
I mean, he is at least on the ice by himself.
He is.
That's something.
But if it's. You run into that problem then is what if he's not back before the trade deadline? Like
Yeah, you probably have to do something if he's not back.
Like that's the one issue or thing that I'm kind of keeping my eye on a little bit more is, I don't know. Yes, you get him back maybe for a playoffs or whatever, but what are you losing and potentially seeing what the team looks like with that talent back?
I mean, obviously a much smaller scale with someone like LOC, but you hope that the Avalanche have learned their lesson from the Landeskog saga of when they get to that trade deadline and it's will they, won't they, you probably should.
Yeah. It just also hurts too because like you look at how good LOC was in the last playoffs in that series against Dallas.
Like their second or third best player in that series probably.
So you hope that you can get him some ice time before that happens. If not, that's I mean, we've likened him to Gavin Brindley in the way he can spark plug a team. That's going to hurt. Yeah, potentially not having that. And so you hope you can get him back by mid-January, early February.
I don't think there's any reason to like assume the worst here. But
no.
It is a little bit unclear.
Yeah. So. It's something that's sitting me on the edge of my seat.
For
I'll
sure.
put it that way.
The fact that he's not back yet, you don't love it. I think that's definitely fair. Without him, though, the Avs are still really good. So, they do at least have that to lean on a little bit. We're kind of off topic here, but you know what? We've had 3 days off. We're just talking about hockey. The Kiviranta situation. Not that Kiviranta's been bad. He's very solid defensively. We talked about that fourth line as a shutdown line. Is that just how it's going to be going forward, or will we see Zakhar Bardakov again at some point?
As much as I would love to, unless there's some sort of injury to bring him back into the fold, I don't see Bednar going that route, unfortunately. Just because, as much as I loved the last 10 games from Zakhar Bardakov, Kiviranta just provides a little bit more, and he has that trust from Bednar already solidified, especially as far as the PK is concerned.
Yeah, special teams.
Yeah, so he provides a little bit more upside than a guy like Zakhar Bardakov does. That's the only thing that hurts him. If Bardakov can go learn to play special teams, maybe that increases his value to Bednar a little bit more. But I mean,
I'm just saying. Ross Colton is on a dry streak and they moved him back to center. And I don't think that's necessarily a coincidence.
Yeah, You hope that can jumpstart a guy like that too. Because, I mean, Bednar's mentioned he really likes Ross Colton at center, though I don't know as though that's going to fix all of Ross Colton's problems.
I don't know if it's fixing any of his problems, to be honest.
No.
It might be making more problems. And we know, Bednar's already been on the record, we would like a 3C at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Colton at 3C is the long-term solution or anything. But I do wonder what the Avs' best lineup actually is today and whether that is Ross Colton at 3C or not.
It is hard to tell, but I think as far as Bednar going to make that decision, just tying it back to Bardakov, it just seems like writing on the wall.
Yeah.
For me, unfortunately.
The future is the waiver wire, the KHL perhaps for Zakhar Bardakov.
Which really sucks because I think, and I wrote about this in a piece that I just released on Christmas. Go check that out.
Go read it.
But
it's hilarious, by the way.
I love it. I'm so proud of it. But I look at a Bardakov and I'm like, this is a guy who could be really serviceable on a lot of other teams.
Teams that aren't necessarily trying to win Stanley Cups.
Right. Yeah. Maybe is not as wide open as the Avalanche are making their window to be.
Yeah.
But it's you give him one more year of development or find some iteration of the Avs where what he brings could be once he's developed a little bit and learned the system and he's fitting it, he's learning the system well. He's shifted from non-North American hockey to North American hockey really, really well. And I think you give him a year or two. Send him to the Eagles. Let Letestu work with him a little bit. And he looks like a really good addition to this roster. It just there seems like there is no room for him right now.
Bardakov is waiver exempt. Thank you, DJ. I was wrong about that. Look, if he's willing to go to the Eagles, I'm down. But it would not surprise me if a Russian said NHL or I go home.
Fair.
So
yeah, that just seems like such a setback for a guy who's really trying to kind of make a name for himself in the NHL, where rumors were that he was really upset about not getting as much ice time as he wanted. Yeah. That just seems like a really big setback.
It's not a easy spot to be in for either side of that. To be fair, Bardakov's going to want certain things, and the Avs are going to want certain things. And for all I know, Kiviranta gets hurt tomorrow, and Bardakov's back in the lineup, and we're not having this conversation. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but that's the way hockey goes sometimes.
The hockey gods work in mysterious ways.
The other thing I wanted to get into tonight, since we already mentioned nobody really likes Vegas, is there some extra kick tonight? Should the Avs have a little bit of extra snarl against a team like this? Is this a team the Avs can poke and prod a little bit, or should they just go out there and play hockey?
Go out there and do your thing. I think if there's a little bit more incentive, because there are guys that are still on this roster who remember the last time, Vegas came out on top during playoffs. And I'd rather
forget, but
yeah. I'm sure they would like to as well, but that kind of thing sticks with you. And I'm hoping they channel a little bit of that, but this is also a game where looking ahead at some of that, you don't want to get too emotionally invested. This team knows what they're good at. They're a really good 5-on-5 team. Yeah. They're a really good penalty kill team. You go out and do what you're supposed to do. This seems like a game that you can take care of.
I hope so. Again, I think it's going to be low scoring, but we can get into the prediction on that. Bust out the crystal ball. Bailey, give me a name. Give me a score. What's going to happen in this game?
I'm looking at a close one here. Give me 3-2.
Yep.
And then I feel like this is an easy answer, but give me Martin Necas.
Feels like he's been shooting a bit more lately. Yeah. You want to see him keep it up.
If we're talking about a top line breaking Carter Hart and the Vegas Golden Knights, I mean, let it be Martin Necas.
Avs want to score 12 goals on Carter Hart. That's fine with me.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to go, I think, I know the Avs just won 1-0. So let's say 2-1. A little high, but I do not expect this to be a particularly high scoring game. I do think Vegas is going to muck and sludge this one up pretty badly. I would love to see the Avs play their hockey and just blow through that, but travel day, 3 days off.
If this can be an Edmonton 2.0 type game, that'd be great.
I would love that, but I don't think it's reality. So I'm going low scoring, and I'm taking Val Nichushkin to put one in the back of the net for tonight.
The choo-choo train.
Yeah. That second line feels like it's just been clicking. So keep that going. You'll feel good about things.
Keep that train rolling. I like it.
We can get into it a little bit more with my pre-game picks, brought to you by Bet365, where things are never ordinary. Val Nichushkin goal is in there at plus 260, but also took the Avs to cover, so maybe I should have said 3-1 instead of 2-1. Good money for the Avs covering for once, because Vegas is actually a decent team. And then I did take the under. Like I mentioned, Vegas is just too good defensively to let this game get out of hand, I think. But I would love to be wrong. The emotional hedge bet, always a way to go, where you can be happy if you are wrong, or you get money if you are right. However you like to bet, make sure you do it with Bet365. Of course, use the DNVR 365 code when you sign up. And when you gamble with them, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Couple of minutes left in pre-game here. Kind of already mentioned, the Pacific is not a particularly good division. Is there a world where we don't get an A game today? I know we talk about every team getting up for the Avs, but maybe Vegas has been lulled into a little bit of a false sense of security given the season that they've had.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I think you look at this point of the year and slump games are bound to happen. And if they're due for a slump game, maybe this is the one, given how much rest they've had without having much of it.
Yeah.
Like if that's the version of the Avs you're getting, I'm also still maybe not too worried about that, given how they've performed in slumps, and they can generally pull themselves out of it. So there is that to be said. So I guess a light at the end of the tunnel, per se. But
sure.
No, if this is a slump game and the Avs can still pull this out, like build that back up, get back into your groove before. I don't know. Like you've got another nice little stretch of hockey here before the Olympic break hits. Let this be your one slump game. Go and win it.
Yeah, I don't think it counts as a slump if it's one game, probably.
But if this is your kind of, weird game, like I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think anyone would be, given the surrounding knowledge, but you could also just go play your best game of hockey and then we'll all forget about it and be like, wow, the Avs are great.
I do want to bring this up, and looking at some of the records and stats going into this game, both of these teams are undefeated when leading after the second period. So
it's going to be tied after 2. Got it.
That's kind of where I'm going with this is, as much as you'd love to see the Avs get on the board early, crack Hart early, and break his heart, so to speak. If you don't crack it early, like that's fine, but it's going to be really telling who ends up leading. Maybe not on the score sheet. Yes, that's maybe most important, but who's playing the better game through 2 periods.
It's it'll be interesting. Vegas hasn't played a third period team quite like the Avs yet either. So You can't discount that side of it. But I think we're expecting, if we get the goods from both teams, it'll be a really good hockey game. If one of them looks off, it's the day after the Christmas break, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Bailey?
I got nada.
Cool. We'll wrap this thing up. We got Watch Along with Micah coming, like Bailey mentioned. Go become a diehard. Go read her awesome Christmas piece. And that's it. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. We'll see you for Watch Along in a few seconds, or join Bailey and I. We'll break it all down postgame no matter what. Late night. We'll see you there.
We all silly like the mayor.